Amen. We know that Jesus is coming again, and we are looking forward to his soon return. And we need to be watching and we need to be praying. Remember last year, I'm not sure if you can, but last year I gave a sermon on the dailies, and I spoke about how we need to watch and pray, how we need to remember what Jesus said when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, when he asked his disciples to watch and pray, and he went back 3 times and they had fallen asleep. And what did he say? He said to them, "What? Could you not watch with me for 1 hour?" And this is why we are teaching and are taught we need to watch and we need to pray. So we are going to be learning how to pray, but we also need to know what we need to be watching for. Why? Because we know that as the disciples were fast asleep, so we are right now too. And the third time when he saw them asleep, Jesus' heart was broken. He was so broken that he asked his disciples to watch with him, and they fell asleep each time. Do you believe that perhaps the Lord is very, very broken? Do you believe that perhaps the Lord is very sad that we are sleeping right now? Because why did he want us to wake up, and why did he want us to watch? He said we must watch for our own habits, our own inclinations. Why? Lest we enter into temptation. And if we enter into temptation and yield our hearts to Satan, then we cannot retain our garments. And Isaiah 61:10, the prophet of the Lord wrote, "I will greatly rejoice in the Lord, my soul shall be joyful in my God, for he hath clothed me with the garments of salvation." So before he could even give us the garments of righteousness, he needed to first clothe us with the robe of salvation. And saints, what does salvation mean? Well, when we look at the Bible and we go to Matthew 1:21, it tells us, "And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins," not in their sins, but from their sins. And if we refuse this gift of God to be delivered from bondage to sin and Satan, God cannot clothe us with that robe of righteousness, saints. So what we be watching right now? We should be watching the signs of the times, and that we enter not into temptation. Why? Because if we do, we will yield up the garment of salvation, right? And we will regress to the sin that Jesus saved us from. And I know all too well what that feels like, because I have regressed in the past and I have gone back to sin that I actually was saved from without even recognizing that was happening. And I don't want that to ever happen again, and neither do I want it to happen to any of you, saints. So we need to watch and pray lest we enter into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So we need to be uniting in prayer, and we need to pray like we never have prayed before. It is time for us to focus and to stay focused. It is time for us to keep our eyes upon Jesus, the same way Moses kept his eyes upon Jesus when he was going through the Exodus with God's people. He had his eyes upon Jesus, and Jesus, in the form of a cloud by day and fire by night, led Moses and the people out of the Exodus. And we need to keep our eyes upon him.